Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to the week of Cold Moon. This is a palette from Ensley Rain and I'm doing an entire week of eyeshadow looks dedicated to these beautiful colors. So this is the second look in my week of Cold Moon. Check the description box for look number 1. Ensley Rain playlist and my week of playlist because I have lots and lots of videos there where I dedicate a whole week of looks to just one eyeshadow palette. I've got Oud and Zai, Juvia's Place, Blend Bunny, there are lots. So check that if you're curious and you want to see lots more eyeshadow looks and videos. And I can't wait to get into today's video because I think this look is just so pretty. It's just so pretty. As I look at this palette, I actually don't know what I want to play with today. There are two shades that are really calling to me, Winter Rose, and this is the one that I used in my first look, where I put this on like the inner third or so, like the inner corner and the inner third of the lid, and it was so pretty. I thought, oh, I need to incorporate that more extensively in a different look. So I think I'm gonna play with those two. I just don't know exactly what else I'll bring in. I don't have anything on my lips right now because my husband brought me a chai from Starbucks. And it's delicious, and I don't want to get yucky lip product all over my cup because that's gross. But anyway, my kids are resting, so I'm gonna dive into something. And just have fun playing with this beautiful palette. I've picked up Mauya. I'm gonna put that on my inner corner and just lay it down as kind of a shade to open up this area, brighten things a bit, and have a foundation. It's not like the most incredible striking pastel. Like if I wanted to do a one and done sort of brighten the inner corner and let it go for the day kind of look, then I would grab one of my Sydney Grace mattes because their pastel mattes are just bonkers good. Now, this is an incredibly beautiful formula. This particular color is clearly pigmented. It's just not quite as, whoa, you know, like one shadow and good to go. I mean, depending on what you're looking for, but it's beautiful. Now let's take the Winter Rose, and I'm not sure, okay, I wasn't entirely sure how dark it would transfer onto my skin, so maybe that's why I was hesitant, a bit undecided about which direction things would go. If you guys hear background noise, it's currently storming outside my house today. We've had a lot of crazy weather the last few days, which is fine because we really needed rain, and we got rain. I'm sitting right next to our fireplace, and when we get storms, it's so fun to listen because the rain hits the metal on the top of the chimney and just makes this very, very loud and distinct patter, smacking sort of sound. It's very erratic and quite unlike a typical rain sound that you expect because it's just hitting the aluminum, I think, is what the metal is. And then it comes down, like the sound comes down the chimney and then floods into the living room. Fortunately, there's no water that comes down the chimney and floods the living room. This is pretty right here. It's quite peachy, isn't it? So let me know what you guys think about the fact that I've gone back to my original week of format. I know that when I took a poll, some people were like, yeah, absolutely, stick to the original format, and some people liked the newer format where I had all the looks in one video. I need to deepen this now, so I think I'll take Garnet. I'm really playing with the cool and warm tones here today out of sheer curiosity because I don't know how they're going to work with the shimmer that I want to play with. Also, I took kind of a lot of that shade. I mean, it's beautiful, but I took a lot. Anyway, when I did the poll on my channel, my subscribers were pretty well split down the middle. Like half thought that one format was good, half thought the other format was good. A lot of you were saying, Rachel, just do what works for you. So that's why I've switched back because I have a very streamlined editing process at this point, and it's less time on the back end for me to just film and edit one video than for me to hold on to the footage and compile them together and decide, am I talking through or am I doing voiceover, finding a quiet time to do a voiceover, remembering to do an intro, remembering to do an outro. It's a lot more work for me, and I personally kind of like this format better because it gives me really a week of content instead of a week's worth of content in just one upload. You know what I mean? Okay, that's gorgeous. That's gorgeous. You know, I'm curious. I might want to try something. I think I'll go back into this, what shade was it? Mauya, the creamy matte color. Creamy color matte. The storm is getting more intense. You may be hearing it in the background. I want to bring Mauya a little more onto the lid space. Okay, now I'm gonna take Snow Crystal. I'll pick it up with my finger. Now I'm trying to get as little oil as possible from my fingers into the pans, but a lot of shadows simply perform better with the finger. So I rub my finger on the napkin that lives in my lap when I'm doing my eyeshadow, trying to remove excess oils. Hopefully that will help me avoid hard pan. Here is Snow Crystal. See, it's got more pink in it than I remembered. Oh, it's so pretty. I'm gonna start this in the center of my lid. I may leave just that inner space. I may leave that matte, so it would kind of be like 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. Instead of doing my standard technique of grabbing a new shimmer and bringing it all the way in and dragging it over, I might just have the shimmer in the middle. It's so pretty. I mean, I think that's lovely. I'm just playing around. Just playing, having fun. This is not a complex look. And you know what? Guys, I have to give credit to the Ensley Rain mattes. We all know that the shimmers are astounding, right? But a lot of indie brands now, especially the more expensive ones, they have amazing shimmers. It seems to be that at this point, if you go indie, it might be more of a struggle to get really, really amazing mattes because everyone's just putting all their energy into the shimmer game. So the shimmers are all incredible, but they're all incredible from all the brands. And now when people are talking about, you know, rankings of multiple palettes, they often say that it's the mattes that are lacking, which is an interesting shift, no? These mattes are phenomenal. Like, this is all live time. I mean, I don't think that I'm gonna need to cut much in the editing because it's just so fast. So fast and so good. Easily blended and built, pigmented, beautiful. I think I'm gonna dust the lower lash line with a much looser blending brush and just really lightly take the Winter Rose shade the whole length of it. I'm gonna look up because I don't really want to get it in my eye. And if I'm looking down at the mirror, there's a higher likelihood of me puffing powder into my eye, which is not ideal. Now I'm cleaning off the brush that I used to do that. With this clean brush, I'm going to go even a little bit lower because I want to soften it into my skin. I don't want it to look like I'm sick. This is the sort of color that might actually make a person look sick under their eyes, like they've been crying a lot or they're just sort of puffy and whatnot. I mean, under the eyes. I'll take a smaller blending brush. I'm gonna cool it off a little bit with Orithia. I'm not sure how to pronounce that one, but this is quite a bit tighter. And I'm just gonna scrub it into the lower lash line a little. You might not be able to see that on camera. It's a small area, and with the storm outside, my lighting is not ideal. And it's also kind of a close color to the Winter Rose, only a bit more purple and a tiny bit darker, but they're similar. They are similar, but I think that's pretty. And should I do one more shimmer? This is looking beautiful. I think just for fun, because I want to play with lots. I just want to play. I'm going to get Calicanzaros, which is a silver shimmer, I think. This one here. I haven't used this one at all yet. I have used this one, which is also a silver shimmer. What's the difference? What is the difference? I mean, they're both silver shimmers. They have a very different finish. There are many of the shimmers in this palette are very textured, quite textured. Then there's this one. These four, which are the four that I've got swatched here. A couple of them are highly, highly metallic, and then others are also metallic, just not quite as much. Realistically, still more metallic than many other brands. but they are a different texture. They're not as thick and creamy and slightly chunky. Not really chunky. They're just a different texture. They're all striking, aren't they? Wow. I think I'll take this one, which is the one that I was planning on taking. Hang on, wipe my hands. Yeah, Calicansaros. This is the one that I was planning on taking. It's a little bit drier to the touch, and I'm gonna spray it. Just wanna lay this. Imagine that I've got a line like this from the shimmer. I'm gonna put shimmer here, and it'll connect with this shimmer here, and then there's matte on either side. So it's kind of like a halo eye, except my colors aren't really halo eye-y. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. Yes, I do. I do know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Calicansaros. Just here at the inner corner of the lower lash line. It's a little bit more like a traditional shimmer, but only compared to the other shimmers in the palette. I don't know. Weather's getting pretty heavy again. There, I sprayed that a little bit more. It's okay. It's absolutely impactful. If you're talking about this shimmer compared to other traditional shimmers or satin shades, it knocks them all out of the park. But if we're comparing this shimmer to the other shimmers in the palette, it's probably the most subdued. That's what I'm trying to say. It's still striking and beautiful. It's just the least impressive shimmer in the palette, but it's still so much better than a lot of other qualities at their best. Okay, stop touching it. It's beautiful, it's done. This is the eye look. I'm gonna do the other side and be right back. You guys, I think this palette is just the absolutely perfect match for any kind of opal jewelry, like this opal butterfly necklace, my opal earrings. Absolutely perfect. It's light, it's pinky, kind of greeny, kind of whitey, kind of grayy, kind of, it's opal in an eyeshadow palette, and it's so striking and it's so gorgeous, and I love today's eyeshadow look. I love it. I think it's amazing. Let me tell you what I did, per usual, to finish off. I put on pink from ColourPop. I just like pulled it out of its own cover. This is the shade Fluffy, and I've been using this one a lot with a lot of different looks. I don't know, there's something about like a baby pink waterline that I'm really enjoying lately. I do have mascara on. On my face, I've got this blush from ColourPop as well. It's the shade Matchmaker. You know I don't do much with blush, it's just a little bit. And I have the frosting highlighter from Cosmic Beauty. I put on both of these, so it's actually like 4 colors, because this one is green and gold and this is blue purple. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, there are like 4 highlighter colors going on. And then on my lips, I finally did end up putting on a glowing lip from ColourPop as well in the shade Candy Kisses. I really like a couple of ColourPop's products. I think their Super Shock Cheek, or their Super Shock products are nice. I've got the blush, but I've heard their highlighters are beautiful in that formula. And of course, what they're known for, their Super Shock eyeshadow. But also they've got some nice lip products. They have really good creme gel eyeliners. And I like a lot from ColourPop. I don't really use their eyeshadow hardly at all anymore because I have things that are better. But you can see, I mean, I've got 3 ColourPop products on right now. So I do recommend them as a brand, depending on what you're looking for. Anyway, all of that to say, that's the rest of what's on my face. And I think today's eyeshadow look is just beautiful. I was thinking I wanted to do a halo eye, but then I couldn't decide what colors. And then I ended up kind of getting a halo eye anyway, because I have distinctly different colors. And then I've got the shimmer only in the center, because the inner third of the lid is matte instead of just an inner corner. But then I've got this little pop of shimmer here, and overall I love it. I love it. I would love to hear what you think, of course. Be sure to check the description box for my first look in this week up series, but also my Ensley Rain playlist and my week of playlist for anything else that may pique your interest. I appreciate you so much for being here. Thank you for giving me some of your day. I would love to hear your feedback in the comments section down below. Let me tell you. I've already told you. You tell me what you think of today's eyeshadow look, of the first look, about things in general. Let's chat, because it's fun. Perhaps you'll consider liking and subscribing before you go if you enjoyed today's content and you do want to see more. And I look forward to chatting with you guys in my next video. Look number 3, Cold Moon. Thanks guys, see you then.